Here to perform our national anthem, please welcome award-winning, multi-platinum country music icon and star of the upcoming Fox series Monarch, Trace Adkins.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
It is feature time in Tulsa. Let's go green.
He's got the run, but isn't enough. It's a drag race to the finish. Culver goes from third to first in the last quarter.
Experience the world's most legendary racing events with iRacing. iRacing special events allow any member to compete in full-length multiplayer races based on some of the biggest events in motorsports all year round. Compete in virtual endurance races such as the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, and the Nürburgring 24 Hours. Take on some of the toughest races on the NASCAR calendar, such as the Daytona 500 and the Coke 600. We have races from disciplines across the racing world, from the Indy 500 to the Chili Bowl, from the Bathurst 1000 to the Crandon Championship. Our endurance special events utilize iRacing's team feature, where members can sign up and race together on their own team, swapping drivers throughout the race. Other events use iRacing Super Sessions, where you're not only racing against those on track, but against everyone taking part. As every race progresses, watch and feel the track change, with progressive time of day, dynamic weather and rain, and dynamic track debris and surface changes. Take on your favorite discipline, or try a brand new racing challenge with our biggest races of the year, the iRacing Special Events. Learn more at iracing.com/special-events.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. There's a reason that McConey Setup Shop is trusted by more virtual and real-world tracks and companies than any other setup shop in iRacing. With partners such as Stafford Motor Speedway, the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, Five Flags Speedway, Speed 51, and more. When you want something done right, you go to the experts at McConey Setup Shop.
With setups available for most series on both asphalt and dirt, built by a team of professional builders consisting of some of the top talents on the service, McConey Setup Shop LLC has what you need to hit the track with confidence. Head over to McConeySetupShop.com and learn why McConey Setup Shop is the official setup shop of Richmond Raceway Esports and is partnered with some of the largest names in virtual and real racing.
And remember, at McConey Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
From Mordor to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.
All right, everybody, welcome to race number 2 of the All-Star 15 TV Super Tropheo Series. We are already on the pace lap. Scott Ramler, James Logson, Ken Huber, Roger Rios, Donald Chipek, Peter Lowe, Josh Vidal, Michael Clark, Jake Zedow, Daniel Krim, Wyatt Franklin, and Nate Orlowski in the field as we just got the green flag. In the broadcast booth with me this evening, as always, the one, the only, Joe Hutchings.
What's up, everybody?
Sorry about the tape delay, but here is the race. Just so you guys know, I have no clue who won. I have no clue where anybody finished. So this should 100% be fun for me. And already we have a car off the racetrack. Looked like it was Donald Chipek getting the Lamborghini back underneath him in the 11. But Joe, you were actually here. You said you don't remember anything, but Laguna Seca is a very fun racetrack for a lot of people, and it has something to do with this turn coming up right now, the wonderful, fun, technical corkscrew.
Yep, the site of the infamous, what's cordially known as the pass between Alex Zanardi and Brian Herta. It is a 3-story drop, so keeping up with the theme from last week with corners at the tops of hills that have a substantial drop.
Well, it looks like Lots Done is really keeping up with Scott Ramler after that first lap, as it looks like Donald Chipek crashes at the end of lap 1. Big wreck.
Oh, he got on that inside curb, and that was the end of that.
Oh, actually, it wasn't that bad. I lied. Ramler keeping about a 4/10 lead early on over James Logson. Sorry if I sound a little congested, everybody. When I was away on my work trip, I caught some nasty cold that I'm still trying to get rid of. But Huber still in 3rd, Rios in 4th, Peter Lowe in 5th, up a position, Michael Clark in 6th, up 2 spots, Josh Vidal sitting there in 7th, and it looks like Daniel Krim in 8th, 9th, Zedow, Orlowski 10th, Franklin in 11th, and Chipek trying to gain some ground back in 12th. But that battle for the lead is very much heating up, Joe.
Yeah, he's going to end up trying to use the draft and see if he can't sneak a nose in underneath Scott going into 1 here.
Now,
it's kind of tricky with the way the uphill and then the downhill down into turn 1.
Was there any setup changes coming into race number 2 of the year?
No, left it with the medium setup.
All right.
The medium sprint setup again.
It did give us some good racing at Bathurst. And after tonight with Laguna Seca, Joe, where are these Lamborghinis going in just 2 days?
We're actually going to be heading up Homestead, and we're going to be using part of the oval, so it'll be a Roadville race at Homestead, and this will also be the first night race of the season.
Ooh! I know you were talking to Scott Ramler, who does some of the testing. I know other drivers do as well. to kind of get the lay of the land to see if something will work. I guess him testing night racing works, so I'm excited for that.
It hasn't been tested quite yet, but we're working on that.
Oh, well.
It's still going to be at night.
Looks like we have a battle for 5th. It's Peter Lowe and Michael Clark with a beautiful textbook pass by Michael Clark in the final turn.
Yeah, Michael Clark is actually one of the new drivers. He is actually signed up as one of the league drivers that will be collecting points on the season.
Nice. It's
He was-
awesome to hear.
Yep, he was brought in by our one of our friends, Nate Orlowski, or as I like to call Nate Orlowski, just to make him mad. Hi, Nate.
By low, you mean in 10th place low? Sorry, it was there. I went
was
for
low. That was low.
it. Daniel Krim trying to hold off Jake Zito. That's going to be for that 8th position as Jake looking towards the inside. And just gives the room to Daniel Krim. As you can see, a lot of drivers kind of dipping off into the dirt on the edge of some of these turns.
Well, the trick with Laguna Seca is it's really dusty, and not only that, but being baked in the California sun, this track is really hot. And between the two factors, this track gets really slick and eats up your tires pretty quick.
Well, just right now, it's 102 degrees around Laguna Seca, so you weren't kidding.
That's actually low.
All right.
I ran some tests here ahead of this race, and I was running on 120 to 130 degree track temps.
Ow. You can crack an egg on that. Still a really... Fry what? An egg?
Fry an egg, those $15, carton of eggs.
I don't even want to talk about it. I'm just happy all last week I got breakfast for free. Still, that battle working pretty good with Krim and Zito. It looks like Krim is good in the first half of the lap, while Jake gets right back to him on the second half of the lap. See how it's going to work with the corkscrew before we go check on the leaders. Now, Joe, with all your racing, have you ever turned laps at Laguna Seca in a real car?
Yes, I have.
How nuts is that drop down the corkscrew? Do you feel that in the car? Like, do you almost come out of your seat?
Well, I was in a front-wheel drive Mazda Speed 3, and it was scary. The very first time you do it, you're just like, oh my Jesus. And then after that, you start getting comfortable with it, and then you start pushing it. And I, unfortunately, in a practice lap, actually ended up facing uphill with a pack of cars coming towards me. I was fortunate enough to get the car turned back around and get back, get back going. But yeah, it was entertaining.
There's still the battle. Scott Ramler in the 57 and James Logston in second, just about 7/10 back. Ken Huber doing a really good job in third, just about 4 seconds back from Ramler. Then Roger Rios Matias in fourth. Michael Clark in fifth, as he is really flashing those lights.
That was kind of cool, him flashing the lights coming off the corkscrew. But let's not forget, Ken Huber did win our first race at Bathurst, and it was really close with Scott. And talking to him in practice, he was kind of struggling with this track, but right now, it doesn't look like it. To me, it kind of looks like he's trying to save fuel or save tires a little bit.
Which I think is what we saw Scott do last week.
Yeah, and he ended up getting undercutted.
Yeah.
Or overcutted. I don't remember. That was 2 weeks ago.
But thank you guys for tuning in. Hit that like button, subscribe, follow. The next race, because this is on a tape delay, is Tuesday at Homestead. So join us Tuesday night for the All-Star 15 TV Super Tropheo series right here on the channel. Joe, I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see how this finishes. Just 10 minutes, just under 10 minutes in, Rambler and Logston really pulling away from the field. They're 5 seconds ahead of Ken Huber. Or just under
looks like
5
you got
seconds.
a bunch of. It looks like you got a bunch of mini battles. Everybody's kind of paired up with people that they match well with, and you know we got a group of 3 cars right here. Josh is kind of running away from everybody, but it was been kind of entertaining to watch. Watching all these cars kind of have really good battles on track.
Yeah, 12 people to start the race.
Yes,
pretty sweet, and it's just getting better and better. I know you did a great job making posts all day Monday and Tuesday in preparation for this race. Here goes Jake again.
Jake's gonna try to get a run here. The best place to pass would be going up into this left-hander. If he can get close enough, but it doesn't look like he's that close. Jake actually looks like he's overdriving the car a little bit with that. With the
Nate just had a problem.
Uh-oh.
Just a little bit of an off track. Not too bad.
Oh no, he hit the curb.
And another off track. Head first into the wall.
Well, see, the nice part about this league is we have that fast repair. You can fall back on that, or you can drive it back to the pits, try to get it repaired. But you know, we give everybody the opportunity to race, and if we have drop-ins that are acting out, then you know, at least you got that fast repair, so you can kind of salvage your race.
Take us around. We're gonna jump on with Scott Rambler a lap around Laguna Seca.
Well, you start coming over to the top of this hill, going down into turn 1, and it is trail braking like crazy because this corner is very slick. A lot of sand likes to build up on that inside curb, and you're going to double apex this corner going off into turn 3. There's a nice wide right-hander. Run that curb, hit the curb again, flat out, going into 4. Another right-hander. You're coming out of this corner flat out again. Go through the little bend right here, coming up into this left-hander. This corner gets really slick. It's kind of got a little bit of banking to it, so you can kind of take it a little bit. You can push it a little bit harder. This corner up here is kind of treacherous. This left-hander kind of likes to build up with a lot of debris. A lot of people like to run off and use more of the sand out there and kind of drag debris up on top. And then you're coming up the hill blindly, coming up into the famous corkscrew. And then you got your 3-story drop down. Coming to the next left-hander, kind of floating the car a little bit, letting it kind of just do its natural tendency to run to the outside of the corner. Curb again. Come down to the final run to the front straight. Make this nice tight left-hander. This is a good passing area late in the race. And then just run it out over the curb and flat out until you're back under the WeatherTech sign. And that's a lap at Laguna Seca.
If you had to give this racetrack a difficulty number, what would you give it?
8 out of 10.
Wow. And what parts of the racetrack do you find most difficult? Because we were just on board with Scott. Made it look easy.
Well, the problems that I was having when I was driving this car is right about where Nate went and ate the wall. When you come off of the curb, the car just wants to kick out naturally, and you have to be ready for it. You can't sit there and just be, you know, slamming the throttle down. You got to roll the throttle on this car, and if you're already out of control and you go and snatch one of those curbs, that's it. You're done. You're hitting the wall. So I would say that that complex right after the initial hairpin That seems to be my spot. You know, it looks like it's the easiest spot, but for me, it's any car that I drive. It's always been difficult. I've been able to nail the corkscrew pretty easily. It's not hard. You just kind of point and shoot. But yeah, the first sector of this track is my hardest.
Giving you guys a little look around the field we have. It's Rambler, Logston, 1-2, Huber in 3-4. It's Roger, Rios, Matias. Those are the only drivers within 10 seconds of each other. Then you have Michael Clark, 16 seconds back from Rambler. Peter Lowe, 17.5 back. Josh Vidal in 7th, 23 seconds back. Jake Zidow, 24 seconds back. Daniel Krim, 26. And then in 10th, you have Wyatt Franklin, 28 seconds back. So just 11 laps in, Joe, and we're seeing some major lap differences as Scott has that eyeball driver helmet again.
It's certainly one of the more creative helmets that I've seen. I had to switch mine over to it because I was like, no, Scott can't be the only one that has this. And I can't wait to be running side by side with him, in IndyCar later on.
You should change the eye color.
Be the red eye. Hey, man.
Right in front of Scott Rambler, that is the 29 of Nate Orlowski. You saw Nate have that head first spin into the tire barrier. As Nate's going to go wide here, giving the lane to Scott Rambler.
That's just being cordial. You know, you're racing just to get experience at this point. The leader's coming. He moves over. That is great sportsmanship on Nate.
It's not like they're all not friends anyway.
Shh.
All right. My bad. Don't shoot.
I'm joking.
But that gap has grown to about a second and a half. Gonna drop right back to the 13, 26, and 47, as that has gotten a little closer of a battle. All three of those drivers under 2 seconds.
Jake got ahead of Josh somewhere.
Yeah, it doesn't tell me where. It's not like they hit pit road. Oh, Wyatt just went off track. Just for like a split second. And that opened up the door for the 11 of Donald Cepek.
Yep, that's what I was talking about up when you're coming up the hill there. That particular corner, you're gonna drop wheels, or maybe the entire car comes over the top. Interesting fact about this track, AJ. Where turn 1 is, that's not the original turn 1. They actually edited this track back in the 80s. It actually used to be more squared off, where you came down the front straightaway, you made a left-hander, you went up another straightaway, all the way up to that left-hander where everybody's coming off, and then you go up the hill, down the corkscrew, and then come back around the current configuration of the track.
So there used to be a straightaway connecting turn 1 to turn 5?
Yep.
Wow. I think there was a layout in a Forza game where it allowed you to run that layout.
Actually, I have it on Assetto Corsa. If anybody's interested, I can. If anybody's interested, it was freeware, and I'm gladly handed out to people.
Just shy of 20 minutes in the race so far, and Rambler with a second lead over James Logsdon. Ken Huber still in third. We have no spots changed in the top 4, but you do have Michael Clark in 5th, +3 as he's going to go off the track. Peter Lowe still where he started in 6th. Jake Zedau in 7th. He's +2. And Daniel Krim is +1 in 9th. Joe, I'm going to twist your arm here. You can't pick Scott or Ken. If you name me a driver that you coming into today or into this race that you were going to focus in on and see how they can go from last week to this week.
Big improver right now that I see is Roger. A lot cleaner race for him this week.
Absolutely.
And
His car was beat up by the end of the Bathurst race. I 100% agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Bathurst is a tougher racetrack.
Bathurst sucks, and you know this is why we've ran it, because we don't pussyfoot around. That's the lack of a better term. We're gonna race tracks, and if I deem them interesting, that's where we're going. It's just that simple, and it just happened to align with the real Bathurst race, which a lot of these competitors actually were part of. Was it not this weekend, but the weekend before? And I hate Bathurst. That's all I'm gonna say. You can go back and watch Jake's stream if you guys want to know what happened to us.
Well, we're watching Roger right now get around the racetrack, and
oh no, Nate's off again back there. Sir, you can't park there.
Oh, he's not. He's slowly moving. He was only off track for about 11 seconds.
See, this is why we put that diamond plate on the bumper of that car, because we knew it was going to be hitting the wall. I'm joking, Nate. I'm joking.
Damn. Shots fired.
It's been one of those weeks, AJ.
I'm really curious if Scott's just managing the gap, if James is not really pushing, because they are going to have him make a pit stop, Joe. And I think once everybody gets through that pit stop, that's where we're going to see the aggression level skyrocket. But when do you think we're going to hit that pit stop?
If I was a betting man, I'd say Scott's going to try to run the fuel out on this car so he can come out on, pretty much really warm tires with a low fuel level. I don't see him trying to do an overcut. Sit there and pit early and hope everybody else just kind of eats it, makes a mistake or whatever. I know a lot of the guys last week said that taking tires was not an option because they were nice and gooey and still had a lot of rubber left on them, so why not just take the fuel and run? And if you got gooey tires and a low fuel load, guess what happens? Your lap times start dropping. You can start pushing the car a little bit harder. So, right now, they're just trying to burn the fuel off and then figure out, okay, what's going to be my optimal time to come in so I have the least amount of fuel in the car, but I can run as fast as I possibly can and not wreck this thing. I give it to about I say let's go pit window 20 minutes to go, 17 minutes to go-ish.
All right, so we are relatively close to that, is what you're saying.
Yes.
As Scott has really put some laps together, pulling away by more than a second now. And they are separating themselves from Ken Huber as well. Sitting in third, now 10 seconds back. Trying to find a nice battle on the racetrack. It's still Zedau, Vidal, And a little bit further back, it's Daniel Krim. Waiting to see if somebody might end up with a mistake. Getting confused with Zidao and Vidal's car. They look very similar.
I made one of them, and Daniel Krim made the other one. I'll let you guys decide who made which one.
Well, since one of them's Vidal, I'm guessing Daniel made that one.
Correct. And I'm the one who put the Reaper on the side.
Krim's
of
on pit
Jake's car.
road.
So I do believe that the number 12 car of Lowe and the number 7 of Logsden, those two are teammates.
Oh.
They actually hopped into one of our practice sessions a while back and went and laid down absolutely ridiculous lap times and then proceeded to leave. And now they're back. And Logsden's doing really good and Lowe's up there running in the top 6.
Logsden is killing it right now. Like, I was curious on why he left the first race.
I don't know. We didn't get a chance to interview anybody.
No. Just like tonight, we won't have any interviews.
I mean...
Shut up. I know what you're thinking.
He's
Don't
over
spoil
there.
it. Don't spoil it. I don't know who wins this race, Joe, and the people at home don't know as well. This is on a tape delay.
I know. Someone had to run the race.
Well, yeah, there's at least 12 of them.
I would have had fun.
But up front, on lap number 19, Rambler still out front, as we just saw. I think that was Krim.
I think that was Krim.
That almost said, I'm not making this turn at all.
Tasso Marquez, I think, is who went straight off into the corkscrew and landed upside down in an IndyCar. And then that same weekend, I think it was Patrick Carpentier. I know it was one of the players' cars. I think
You're
it was
going
Carpentier.
way back.
Yeah, this is 90s, where Carpentier ended up backwards into the tire wall and the car pole vaulted over the fence. You can look it up on YouTube, folks. I'm not kidding. There has been some crazy stuff to happen at Laguna Seca. This is also the site of where the Corvette and the Porsche were sitting there banging each other on the final laps of one of the IMSA races here a few years ago. That's one of my favorite battles to watch. Nothing better than watching American metal versus German engineering sitting there bouncing off each other for a race win. And it was just a class win, too. It wasn't even overall. It was like, wow, you guys are pretty intense.
We've had 2 pit stops this race so far. Daniel Krim, Nader Alasky, both drivers 1 lap down. We're waiting for the rest of the field to hit pit road. We are under 20 laps to go. Scott Rambler extending his lead to James Logsdon. Just about 6.5 seconds. He is on a zip code of himself right now. As you guys can see the track map on the top right.
Is there a way you can change his name to Machine?
I can change it to whatever you want. I just can't do it right now.
10-4.
I could change his name to Alien if you'd want.
Yeah, that's up to you.
Oh, Nate Orlowski with an issue again, Joe.
Oh man.
Ooh.
Ugh.
And I think he has to jump to pit road on that.
Yep. When you bust those rear toe links, that is the end.
Michael Clark going through the first couple turns. He does have Peter Lowe closing in on him. Wyatt Franklin now on pit road as well.
Looked like Wyatt was sideways coming on the pit road.
Nothing looks broke. Yet.
Oh, ouch.
Hey, at least he does. He's at least he doesn't have as many X's as some other people when they run road racing on the team or on the channel.
I mean, Dalton Fredericks was 75 X's?
It was 76 at Daytona. Roger
Dalton.
Rios Matias now hitting pit road. Hitting from the 4th position. Here comes Daniel Krim. Michael Clark should make the pass. Same thing with Peter Lowe. Let's see if Jake ends up making it by. Or Roger jumps back out on the racetrack. Oh yeah. Without a doubt. Roger's going to drop back to that 9th position from the 4th spot.
Yeah, but I do believe everybody ahead of him still has to pit.
Yes. From Scott all the way to Donald Cepek, all have to still hit pit road. Just so smooth going through these turns. And with an 8-second lead. As Logsdon is hitting pit road, do you think that forces Scott... Well, Ken Huber's also on pit road now. Even with that 8-second lead, do you think that forces Scott to hit pit road in the next couple laps, Joe?
It could force him on pit road now. It all depends too if any of these guys are taking tires, which I highly doubt. I mean, the way the tire model is with iRacing, you don't have to take tires, especially just being a 45-minute sprint. So it's going to be all about how you can get on and off pit road at that point.
Yeah, Peter Lowe stayed out, takes over that 2nd position. But all eyes are on Scott Ramler, as they kind of have been all race with how fast he's been running. Through the final couple turns, does he hit pit road? Yes, he does.
Oh yeah, he's coming on pit road.
And let's see how all this is going to shake out. Peter Lowe still out on the racetrack.
He's like 35
A
seconds
long
behind now.
way back.
Yeah.
There's Scott. He's just about to leave pit road. Wow. That's not good. Joe, where's that caution? James Logsdon coming out of the final turn, and Scott is
That's already through.
on the racetrack again.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a clinic on how to get on and off pit road.
With about an 11-second lead as well. Well, everybody, we only do this once a race. We're going to go side by side, say hello to our sponsors. We'll be right back.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. There's a reason that Makoni Setup Shop is trusted by more virtual and real-world tracks and companies than any other setup shop in iRacing. With partners such as Stafford Motor Speedway, the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, Five Flag Speedway, Speed 51, and more. When you want something done right, you go to the experts at Makoni Setup Shop.
With setups available for most series on both asphalt and dirt, built by a team of professional builders consisting of some of the top talents on the service, Makoni Setup Shop LLC has what you need to hit the track with confidence. Head over to MakoniSetupShop.com and learn why Makoni Setup Shop is the official setup shop of Richmond Raceway Esports and is partnered with some of the largest names in virtual and real racing.
And remember, at Makoni Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
From Mordor to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.
It is feature time in Tulsa. Let's go green.
He's got the run, but isn't enough. It's a drag race to the finish. Culver goes from third to first in the last quarter.
Experience the world's most legendary racing events with iRacing. iRacing special events allow any member to compete in full-length multiplayer races based on some of the biggest events in motorsports all year round. Compete in virtual endurance races such as the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, and the Nürburgring 24 Hours. Take on some of the toughest races on the NASCAR calendar, such as the Daytona 500 and the Coke 600. We have races from disciplines across the racing world, from the Indy 500 to the Chili Bowl, from the Bathurst 1000 to the Crandon Championship. Our endurance special events utilize iRacing's team feature, where members can sign up and race together on their own team, swapping drivers throughout the race. Other events use iRacing Super Sessions, where you're not only racing against those on track, but against everyone taking part. As every race progresses, watch and feel the track change, with progressive time of day, dynamic weather and rain, and dynamic track debris and surface changes. Take on your favorite discipline, or try a brand new racing challenge with our biggest races of the year, the iRacing Special Events. Learn more at iRacing.com/special-events.
We're back, everybody. You didn't miss much, but holy cow, has that lead grown to about 13 seconds. Ken Huber in third, 4 seconds back from James. And looking out through the rest of the field, it's Jake and CPEC, the closest on-track battle that we have. 2.5 seconds separating them two. Joe, how's the race been on your end? Because it's been pure domination over here.
All I can say is give that man an alien tag. And someone call the Men in Black.
We don't talk to Will Smith anymore.
Oh yeah, we're supposed to keep some names out of our mouths. I'm sorry.
All right, I wasn't expecting that.
It happens once a broadcast. You're welcome. I've been waiting for it.
Oh God. Oh, his Logston has an issue. Joe, I think he went off right where you said could be an issue.
Oh yeah, if people are kicking debris up in that area, oh boy, hang on for dear life.
And he drops down to third as Hubert gets by. That gap is closing between CPEC and Zdow. On board with CPEC going through the corkscrew. That gap is down to 2 seconds.
Looks like we're gonna get a good battle here at the end of the race with 5 minutes to go.
That I'm thinking. Almost to a second and a half now. As Jake has a good final turn to extend the lead just a little bit before they head down to turn one. And it looks like CPEC went long into turn number one. That's going to give that advantage to 2 seconds again to Zdow. Oh, he's going to clip the grass too. What are we going to see in the final couple minutes, Joe?
We're going to see a lot of people start making mistakes.
That's what I was thinking.
You're 4 minutes to the end. The track's got a lot of heat in it, a lot of rubber buildup, debris all over the place. You're going to start getting some heated battles, and we're going to start seeing some cars flying off track. If they all hold it together, I give them props, but...
Well, we've already seen multiple off tracks, and some of these drivers might be at their X limit. So, who knows what we're going to see as that gap is down less than a second and a half. Last time by, Zdow a 1:23.5 to a 1:23.2 for CPEC. Definitely closing in towards the end of this race, Joe. Nobody's got anything for Scott Ramler unless he makes a huge mistake. He's already through turn one while Hubert is just getting out of the final turn. That's what 19 seconds looks like.
It's insane. But the man has a lot of experience on iRacing, and it would be absolutely awesome to see what he can do behind the wheel of a real car.
Yeah, no kidding. Thought somebody was going to make that happen.
We're working on it.
Just 6/10 now separating both of them. Can Jake hold on for another 2 minutes? Which, if Scott would just slow down, it would just be one more lap.
Scott, slow down. There,
Yeah,
those
I'm
those
aware.
words don't mix.
On car with Scott Rambler going through the front stretch. No white flag yet. Next time by will be the white flag. That gap has grown between Jake and CPEC. Over a second now. There's a good chance that 11 might have burnt up those tires.
If he didn't take tires during his pit stop, it very much could be.
Yeah, because he was making a heck of a lot of good time towards Jake. He had that gap down to just about 6/10. But the other thing is, can Jake hold on to it? And this is all for P7. 1 through 6 for the most part. Very much spoken for. Unless something drastic happens. Well, here we go. Scott, through the last couple turns, coming around to grab the white flag. White flag is in the air for Scott Rambler. Through the first couple turns, there is Huber out of the final turn. Joe, half a second separating Zdow and CPEC.
CPEC's probably he's gonna have to make a move here. There's that many decent passing places with the debris on the track, so he's coming into a good one here if he can make up a lot of gap in his corner and kind of stick right on his bumper, which it looks like he's not able to hold it.
No, he's kept it. This is the closest he's been is a half a second. Last time by, he was 3/10 faster. Jake just needs to hold on. But coming out of the final turn, Scott Rambler gonna win at Laguna Seca.
Way to go, Scott.
And then 20 seconds later, Ken Huber will finish second. But back here for 7th, coming up the hill. 3/10 separating. This is the battle on the racetrack, everybody. Huber second, Logston third, Roger Matias fourth. Joe, I think there's a big enough gap.
Looks like Jake's gonna hold him off here. CPEC's trying to do everything he can to try to chase him down.
One more shot right here. And they're going to keep it clean. Peter Lowe, 5th. Michael Clark, 6th. Jake Zdow, 7th. Donald CPEC, 8th. Josh Vidal, Wyatt Franklin, another 2 under about half a second through the final turn. Josh Vidal, 9th. And Wyatt Franklin, 10th. Joe, what a fun race, dude.
Oh, yeah. Laguna Seca is always fun. It's always interesting to see the strategies and stuff. And here goes Scott. Our Scott's signature backwards victory lap.
Yep.
Nah, the race was entertaining from start to finish, and these guys kept it really clean. Not a lot of incidents between drivers, so congratulations, guys, on another clean race.
Well, before we go this evening, let's give you the results from tonight's race. Scott Ramler. Oop, that's qualifying. We don't want qualifying. We want race. Because they raced. Scott Ramler with the win. Ken Huber in second. James Logsden in third. Roger Rios Matias fourth. Peter Lowe in fifth. Michael Clark sixth. Jake Zito seventh. Donald Cepek eighth. Josh Vidal ninth. Wyatt Franklin in 10th. Daniel Krim 11th. And Nate Orlowski in 12th. Joe, thanks for getting me the replay, and thanks for joining me this evening for the tape delay so people could still see what happened from Laguna Seca last Tuesday night.
Not a problem, sir. And thank you for everything that you do, too.
All right, everybody, this Tuesday we are at Homestead. Come join us. The race lobby opens at 7:30. The race starts at 8:45. We'll see you guys there. Take care.